In 1940, France was invaded by Hitler and the German Wehrmacht, and then occupied by them for the next 4 years. But what if the French had defended their homeland? What if they held against the German war machine? And that's what we're going to look at today. What if the French had defended France? Now, for this scenario to be even remotely possible, then we have to change some aspects of the war. Number one, the German army cannot invade through either Belgium, Holland, or Luxembourg. They have to just push into France, no neighbouring countries. Secondly, they have to invade via the Franco-German border, where the Maginot Line is. And thirdly, the French have to be motivated enough to defend their homeland. So, here's a scenario. In an alternate timeline, it's May 1940, and Hitler wants France for his own. He's studied the maps of the Maginot Line, and he has found a point to break through using his newly evolved blitzkrieg tactics. Once the order is given, the German army rush head first into the Maginot Line. Now, the French, even in our own timeline, had better equipment and outnumbered the Germans. But this time, they are really well led. They are motivated to defend their land at all costs. Now, the Wehrmacht reached the Maginot Line, but cannot pass it due to heavy French resistance from armour and infantry. And the Franco-German border turns into a Stalingrad scenario. Now, eventually, now being known as the Battle of the Maginot Line, the French overpower the Germans with the help of Britain, and the German army is on the retreat. Now, Hitler and Stalin, even in our own timeline, are on good terms with each other. So Hitler asks for reinforcements from Stalin, but he only offers 100,000 men, less than a quarter of what Hitler wanted. And the push to Berlin begins. The French and British troops push further and further into Germany. There is no Battle of Britain, there is no blitz, so London is safe, and there is no conquering of the skies over Europe, so air superiority is to the Germans. Now, the French and British troops meet the Russian soldiers near the Rhine. The Russians don't understand why they're there because it's not war they're fighting. They are poorly led, and they haven't got the morale to give them the confidence. So the Anglo-French push continues through the Russian line, and by late 1940 to early 1941, the French and Brits are knocking on Hitler's door at Berlin. Now, the Battle of Berlin plays out like in our own timeline, but instead of a Russian victory at Berlin, it is a British and French victory. The war has ended 3 to 4 years earlier than in our own timeline. America's never involved, the rest of Europe's never invaded. Russia is still a mediocre power, but the Cold War does not begin. The Americans never make the A-bomb, there are no nukes, and today society is majorly changed. So that is just one scenario of how the French could have defended our homeland. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you have other alternate history scenarios that you'd like me to discover and explore, leave them as a comment below. And I'll have a look and I'll see which one it is. Now, this video wasn't made from my mind. It was actually inspired by this comment. So, that is going to be it for today's video. My latest history video will be in the description, and I will be back next week with the Battle of Britain. So see you there.